Wonderful. So our recording has started. So I'll run through Mr. Icon's profile, just a short description of what he's all about, and then we start. So Mr. Icon Stephen Adedigba is a young Nigerian author, life career coach, and transformational speaker who has inspired over 25,000 youths and young adults. He facilitates conferences, seminars, and corporate group workshops, igniting greatness through his multi-vibes personal development videos released every Monday. His exceptional leadership and intelligence has earned him numerous awards, and his influence spanning broadcast journalism, public relations, advertising, and marketing communication has built his experience, making him work for renowned companies like Premier Foods. He holds a postgraduate diploma in leadership and management from Luxury Academy London and is the author of 3 books, including Evolve, his latest. His impactful stories has been featured in numerous Nigerian national dailies, and Mr. Icon is also the founder and president of Motivation Hub Africa, which acts in promoting excellence in African societies. So we welcome Mr. Icon Stephen Adedigba to this platform and let him give us a glance of what does evolving actually mean? What does it mean to be a person of excellence? What does it mean to be a person of evolution? What does it mean to be a person of excellence? What does it mean to be a revolutionized? All right, you have the platform, Mr. Icon.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. I hope you can hear me loud and clear. Mr. Toby, am I
Loud and clear,
audible?
sir.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you so much to
Yes, we
everyone.
can.
Okay, thank you. Can I proceed, sir? Dr. Toby? Dr. Toby? Okay.
Yes, you
Okay, absolutely.
can
Absolutely.
proceed. You can
Please.
proceed, sir.
All right, sir. Thank you so much, Dr. Toby, for this wonderful opportunity that you granted me. I consider this a rare privilege. I mean, to be sharing some insights with great people, on this platform. And of course, special doxology to you, sir, for coming up with something this great to be of immense value to the lives of our people across respective strata so that we can continually be of impact and, of course, value to the lives of people. And I do not take this for granted. Like Dr. Toby rightly said, my name is Stephen Adedigba. Most people call me Icon. And it will be an insightful session. I want you to take your time and, of course, keep an open mind. I understand that you are very exposed. I mean, you know quite a number of things, but this is the time for us to learn, of course, and learn, and of course, relearn some things so that we can really get better at what we do. Evolve, fundamental needs of mental excellence. Yeah, I'll start on this note. Just before that, let me express gratitude to everyone who joined. I saw my brother Leah and some other people who have joined this session. I mean, I do not take it for granted. Thank you so much for being a part of this. Well, evolve, fundamental needs of mental excellence. Well, my third book was titled Evolve, and we call that the process of becoming. Yeah, that was the book I released in the year 2021. following the passion, influenced by the fact that there are so many people out there that I've had interactions with who have little or no idea about the processes involved for them to truly evolve. Many people are at the verge of becoming great, becoming successful, but have no or little idea about some of the strategies or steps that can be taken for them to move from point A to point Z. And that has been one of the major problems that has been facing humanity, at this critical time. Many people think through the process of, oh, I see so many people who are already at the top and I want to be like them. I haven't forgotten the fact that there are stages, there are critical steps that must be taken before we can become that person that we have always envisaged. And these are some of the things I would like to take us through in the next couple of minutes, and I hope it will be value for your time. Well, I gave an acronym to the word evolve, and I'll be sharing that with you concurrently so that we get to understand the nitty-gritty of what the philosophy of evolve really means. Evolve, the first T, I call it exceptionality. And that's the message to someone here that if you must evolve from who you used to be to who you want to be, there are processes involved. But the very first process is for you to be exceptional. Why? There are numerous people doing the same thing that you are used to doing. If you must record more level of success, it requires that you've got to be exceptional. Well, let me clear your doubt. I am not one of those speakers who will tell you things that we have not done. Most of my thoughts and principles, and of course nuggets, are practicable things. Exemplary things that we have done with practice, and it has really been instrumental towards helping us achieve greater feats. Though evolving has no destination, right? When you evolve into a stage, there are still more ground that you can cover. So the very first step there in the acronym that I've given to the word evolve is exceptionality. You've got to be exceptional because there are numerous sets of people doing what you know how to do. So what sets the difference between you and others is what you can offer, and that's why you've got to be exceptional. Amongst everyone, some people will regard themselves as the rest. Some will call themselves as best. But the difference there is what you can offer, and that's why you've got to be exceptional. What is that icing that you can have to your cake that can make you really exceptional? Amongst other people who are offering similar things like you do. That's the very first step there. The next one I've mentioned there is value. Yeah. It's so sad that right now, so many of our people are at the verge of really becoming so great. Many of our individuals are so willing to become really successful, but they have forgotten the fact that only individuals who have something to trade, right, are individuals who are celebrated. And that's why value is one of the most critical, most salient, and most crucial things that you must have. And the question right now would now be, what is the value that you have to offer humanity? These are questions that we need to ask ourselves if you must move from that same level you are right now to the level you've always wanted to be. No wonder Albert Einstein says it is insanity doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. Yeah, many of us have been at some respective stage over time. What we have always talked about is, well, I'm good at this, but let me make you understand that the value of yesterday will make you invaluable today because the world is competitive and it requires you to get upgraded and, of course, updated for you to be able to function in the markets of today. The market of today, which is already a competitive market, would not require from you the knowledge of the past, but require from you things that you can do right now that can set you to stay relevant. And one of the key ingredients needed to stay relevant in this competitive market or in this world as a whole is what we call value. How valuable are you? And that's the second letter in the word evolve. The next point there is O, and that is optimism. Right. Optimism. Are you optimistic? Right. Optimism can take you from one level to another, provided you see yourself doing things that you think you can do and you channel your effort and energy in that direction of achieving the kind of results you want to achieve. It's sad and disheartening that in this current age and time, many of our people care or pay little or no attention to optimism. Many of our people are pessimistic, and that's why they are unable to achieve the kind of results that they should get in life. If you are also one of the individuals who have spent all your time or energy or effort being pessimistic, this word is coming to you right now that you can achieve greater level of success when you are optimistic. Staying optimistic requires that you are positive in every of your approaches. There's a clear distinction or difference between I think I can and I can. Thinking you can is not actual in reality, but saying I can means you can. So the stage and the process of evolving requires that you must be optimistic if you must get the kind of result that you want to get in life. The next letter there is L, and that is learning. Learning. Many of our people places earning before learning, and that's why they have not moved from the level that they found themselves, because all that they pay attention to is subjected to earning without learning. So I think a mic is unmuted. You might need to get that muted so that we can proceed with this session. Thank you, absolutely. So I'm very sure many of us have heard and listened to several thoughts by some thought leaders over the years where they tell us numerous things about how best we can have edge. And the word knowledge comes to mind. Know, edge. In between the word know and edge comes L, and that L there represents learning. You cannot have edge when you don't know. Knowing comes by learning, and it is when you know through learning that you can have edge. I hope you are getting this. So we must be learning. So in the process of evolving, learning is one of the sacrosanct ingredients needed for you to have edge, to evolve, to emerge in all that you do. And the next thing there is what? V. That's the next word there. And that's saying that valiant, you must be valiant. And to be valiant simply means you must be courageous. You must be determined. Many of us, because of the little challenges that we face, many people will say, how will you call it little? Well, I've had my own share of difficult times. And I'm sure many of us listening right now, we've had our experiences and, of course, share of some of the critical things that has really hindered us from really becoming who we want to be. But the most salient thing right now is for you to be valiant in all that you do. You need to face that life, the situation of life with great level of determination and, of course, courage, because this is the only thing that can set you on the right pedestal of achieving all that you set out to be. And the next critical thing in the process of evolving is what we have. We have the word E, and that's what? Excellence. Excellence is not forced. Excellence is earned. Excellence is earned through value delivery. If you don't have a value to deliver, no one will be interested to have anything to do with you. And that's why it is so sad right now that many of our people are really not evolving. They are not becoming who they have been cut out to be, all because they do not understand some of these precepts. And this is basically what we want to share in this session today. One of the critical things we must understand is that a fundamental need for mental excellence is that before something changes without, there must have been something legislated within. So you will continually be the same person you are today if you are used to doing the same thing you are used to doing in the past. And what that will do for you is to keep you on the same level you have always been, because you have not been interested striving for excellence. Dr. Toby, if I should proceed, I want to be sure if I should proceed. Sir. Dr. Toby, or anyone listening, I want to be sure you can hear me loud and clear before I proceed.
Yes, we can hear you, sir.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, my brother. Thank you very, very much. So what I'm saying in essence is we've given some of these critical points with relation to how best we can evolve. And the first thing we said there is that you must be exceptional in all that you do. The next thing there is you must be adding value. The next thing there is what? You must have great level of optimism. The next one is you must be courageous. That's valiant. You must be valiant. This implies that you are courageous and, of course, determined. And the next one is that you should not compromise excellence in all that you do. Right. And I made mention of the fact that nothing changes from without until something changes from within. And that's why your mind is so critical. And that's why you need to be very, very careful about what you listen to, who you listen to, how you listen to those things, and of course, the individuals you have in your circle. All those people or things have a great deal of effect towards who you become. And that's why you have got to be very intentional about all of the things that you do. Because who you become is a function of what you do and what you didn't do. And that's why we have got to be very, very careful and, of course, intentional about our life, because the life that we live is directly proportional to what we do. So what we become is subjected to what we do. What you didn't do cannot get you where you want to be. I mean, these are things that we need to understand on the peripheral before we get deep into some of those things. And like I said, excellence is not forced. You can't force it. It is something that you earn, and you earn it through value delivery. One critical thing you must also understand is there has to be a revolution of the mind. Yeah. You continually be the same person you are in another 10, 20 years until some things have changed in how best you think and, of course, how best you relate. Who are the people in your circle? I mean, these are questions you need to ask. What are some of the things that you do? These are questions that you need to ask yourself. Are you the best in that group? If you are the best, then these are not things that can necessitate your progress. Your progress is subjected to things that you do, not what you didn't do. So what you didn't do can grant you access to who you should become. Who you should become is informed by what you do. And that's why we must take time to critically understand the process of evolving. You can't grow beyond the level of information at your disposal. Yeah, many of us will think success is rocket science. But let me make you understand that success is sweet. That's like my most favorite quote. Success is sweet, but the secret is sweat. Nothing huge would just land on your laps doing nothing. Absolutely nothing like that would happen. I mean, you must pay the price for the kind of price that you want. Success comes with a price. You must pay a price, Price, for a price. The price, Prize, is informed by a price, Price. So the price for success, right, in most cases is hard work, but many of us are really not interested because we see some of our friends going ahead of us. Another salient thing I'll share on this session this evening is the fact that we have got to understand timing. Yeah. No matter how best you stop your time, that does not mean that other people's time will stop. And no matter how best or how slow your time is, doesn't mean other people should move at your pace. The most critical thing you must learn to understand is that other people are created in their own way, and they will definitely achieve things at their own time. So you have your own time, they have your own time. So running other people's race would only mount unnecessary pressure on you. And the reason why many of us have not evolved past time is subjected to the fact that we have always been running the race that we have not been created to run. And that's why we have not been able to achieve the kind of results that we should be achieving. Because all that we do past time has been running another person's race, not running our own race. Guess what? What are some of the parameters or metrics that you can use to evaluate if you are running a personal race or the race of another person? One, is doing things that others have been cut out to do. Two, is having misplaced priority. Three, is knowing not what you are created to do. And that's why no wonder John Martin said, there are two important days in the life of a man. The first is the day a man knows the day he was born. And the second day is the day a man knows why he was born. So you cannot evolve beyond your understanding of yourself. So understanding yourself plays a very pivotal role in determining if you will evolve or not. If you will remain who you are right now, or you will continually be that great person that you have been called out to be. I hope I'm making sense. And that's why we must pay attention to the kind of life you want to live. If you are satisfied with your current life, if you are so complacent that you've achieved great level of success over time, doing numerous things, and you feel that those things are very critical for you to becoming who you want to be, then you can definitely stop doing whatsoever, because you know, or you have a strong conviction that things can always go the way that you want it. But if you know that you don't want to die ordinary, you want to die empty with the great and latency of potential that God has deposited inside of you, then there comes a level of responsibility to you that you must first understand yourself. No one evolves without understanding themselves, because you can evolve in the positive life, and of course you can evolve in the negative life. Lack of understanding of ourselves has been one of the reasons why so many people will keep doing the same thing over and over again, and they'll keep getting the same results. So moving from level A to level B is subjected to the things that you do, and not just doing them, but doing them rightly. I've been told I have averagely about 30 minutes, and I'll run you through some critical things that I believe can be transformational for you in your sojourn, and of course, journey towards excellence. Now, I have some stages that are in alignment with evolving. And if we don't understand all those stages, it will be very difficult for us to move from where we are right now to definitely where we want to be. The first stage is the planting stage. Some people call it the starting stage. Some people call it the introductory stage. So evolving is not rocket science. Evolving is procedural, right? It is experimental. For science students here, you understand that some things cannot be regarded as theory if they do not have an empirical framework, right? Empirical, that is some things that you have done over time that has been tested and trusted per time. Those are the parameters and metrics that you can use to measure if some things are worth it or not. And in this session, we said that evolve, fundamental needs of mental excellence. So you cannot excel if you don't even understand what you are here for, right? So the onus now lies on us as an individual to understand that there are respective stages. Some people are currently at their launching stage, but you are currently at your planting stage, but you see them as a competition, when you should focus more attention on things that you can do that can make you evolve. Many people are more interested in success, but they are not interested in the process and the pain. And that's why I said, the success is sweet, the secret is sweat. Are you ready to give in that sweat to the kind of success that you so desire? So the first stage there is the planting stage. Yeah. Many of us are so much interested in several plants, let's take for instance, corn. I brought one that I just heard this evening, and you know, when you take a piece, maybe you went to one of the vendors on the street who sells corn. Many of us only care about the result of buying maize on the street to eat. But we do not know that before we can see this emergence of the corn in totality, there's a process that this corn has gone through. Now, for me to get the end result of this corn, it requires that I have got to get this dry, a freshly harvested corn. I need to get it dried for several days. The sun must have scorched on it for some time, after which I will now consider that, oh, is this corn now viable to be planted? I will now excavate the ground, the soil, then dig it, then cover it. That's the first stage. Many of us are really not interested in those stages. Many of us are more interested in the result. And that is why we have not been able to get the kind of result that we have always wanted. So evolving is a process. I mean, someone right now should know that the process of evolving is a process. I mean, it is a process, and you must be ready to put in all it takes for you to evolve. Am I making any sense? The second stage there is the watering stage. The watering stage. After you must have planted, it requires that you water it to meet some nutrients under the soil that will necessitate what you have planted to grow. It's the first thing that many of us at this time, what we care about is we have planted, but we are not interested in the watering stage. And that's why so many people will feel like they have invested, but they are not getting the result.
Yes, sir.
The popular saying, hello, Dr. Toby, are we together?
Hello, I can hear that, okay, sir.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, sir. So many of us are so interested in the planting stage, but we've forgotten that the process of evolving is procedural. It doesn't just come the way that you want it. I mean, there are several things you need to put into consideration before all these things happen. So the next one is you need to water it. Watering it might be that you water, you put in a lot of effort through sweat. The result will not surface. But you need to keep doing it, water it. It requires for some people to learn in more skills, to collaborate more rather than compete. This could be the watering stage that could be instrumental towards helping you to help what you have planted to grow. The next stage will now be the growing stage. Interestingly, some people, after they have excavated the floor, the ground, the soil, they've covered it, they are watering. Do you know why so many people have not been able to get the kind of result that they so desire? Is that after they have done that, after watering, in the evening, they still come to excavate to check if it is growing or not. And that is not how growth is detected. You must trust the process that things that you are depositing into it would yield. And that's why optimism was the third parameter for evolving. If you must evolve, you must trust that process. When you are disappointed, when people are not interested in you, when the door are shut at you, when no one is interested to sponsor you, when you fail, optimism will tell you that when I fail, I can succeed. When I fall, I can rise. Remaining a failure is not subjected to falling. You become a failure when you remain on the floor. So falling does not guarantee you that you are a failure. It is when you remain on the floor, that's what defines you a failure. Am I making any sense at all?
Yes, sir.
After all the stage, it gets to a stage where we call reaping stage. Unfortunately, some people are already eating what they should be eating in the future. And that's why so many people will suffer right now. Some people are suffering right now, but they have a lot to benefit in the future. While some people would enjoy those things that should be kept for the future for now. They are now enjoying it now. I mean, time will tell. If you are also one of those individuals or you know people who are probably enjoying some things right now, and you feel like, some of us that we are even doing, we are putting the hard work. We're not getting the kind of results these guys are getting. Are you ready to do the same kind of thing they do? Some are involved in cyber crime. Some are doing Yahoo Yahoo, the so-called Yahoo Yahoo, to get some of the results that they want. And you see that success has a pattern, and you must be ready to trust the process before you can get the kind of the success that you want. It is procedural. So if you must reap, you must sow. It is biblical principle. Many of us want to sow. We just want to reap without sowing. And that's why we will not be able to get the kind of result that we so desire, because we are always in a haste. There's something we call fallacy of hasty conclusion. And of course, there are successes that are garnered hastily. And those kind of successes are short-lived, because those individuals do not require, they don't have the right capacity to sustain the kind of success that they have built per time. And that's why at the reaping stage, they get cut off per time, because their success was not procedural. In the same vein, a tree has grown for time. People, go there when they are hungry. They eat on the mango tree. as at when but to get to some time, when there is that tree is not at its season, there is a stage we also call the dry stage. The dry stage. How many of us are ready to go through that dry stage? And for someone who cannot wait at the planting, the watering, the growing stage, it will be difficult for such person to wait during the dry stage. Are you not going to look for alternative when you are not getting the result of what you want? And these are questions you need to ask yourself. Many of us right now, we are currently in our dry stage, and we are feeling like, no one is interested in me. I am not popular. No one knows me. They don't celebrate me. No one is interested in me. No one is patronizing me. That could be your dry stage, my dear brothers and sisters. Would you wait to get the kind of result that you truly so desire? Would you be interested to put in the kind of energy that you so desire to be that great person you have always wanted to be? Or you just want to do or look for other alternatives? I mean, these are questions we need to ask ourselves. After that dry stage, there is also another stage, which is the waiting stage. Many of us are really not interested in waiting. Many of us just want it to be like rocket science. We want to get the best out of life by just doing it. You strike it now, you get the result now. That is not the kind of life that you want. Your success should not be short-lived, because success that are short-lived are not transgenerational. The kind of things that you build through the process of evolving are things that are transgenerational, that are transformational, that can be of immense value not just to yourself, but to generation coming after you. Is that the kind of life you want to live? And after all these stages, there will still come a reaping stage again. You have reaped, but there will still be another reaping stage. But this is subjected to individuals who are ready to put in the effort towards what they want to achieve in life. I have gone through all these stages. The question right now will now be, what stage are you right now? Are you doing all these things because of the kind of life you want, or you are doing it just for the gram, or for the fame, or for the money, or to impress other people? I mean, these are questions you need to ask yourself. And of course, the bedrock of every of these things is subjected to the knowledge that you have. And I said in between know and edge comes learning. Many of us want to earn without learning. Doctors who have gone to medical schools must have gone through some processes before they can call themselves professionals. It's so disheartening that at this time, we have so many half-baked successful individuals who cannot stand the test of time because they have failed to go through the processes and stages involved for them to evolve. And that's why you see some people who are successful today, tomorrow they are not. Some are successful, they have money today, tomorrow they are not, because their life is not built on a procedure. It's not procedural. What kind of life are you building, my dear listeners, today? Who you will be is directly proportional to what you do. And where you are is subjected to what you have done in the past. So getting to where you want to be would be a function of what you have done in the past, what you are doing, and what you will do. So what you didn't do cannot get you where you want to be. It's only things that you have done that can project you in the right pedestal for excellence. I hope all these things make sense. So we've got to understand that there are times where we need to wait, and I'll place more emphasis on that. The waiting stage is not that period where God has forgotten you. In fact, the waiting stage is that stage where you can learn a lot to be better. Mark Zuckerberg, the founder of Facebook, would have failed if the only project he embarked on was the project he did as an undergraduate student at Harvard. If he had not thought of more things to be done, which led to the introduction of Facebook. Many of us, we are quick to compete rather than collaborate. And that's why our life is not experiencing the monumental change it should, because we are always competing. with people we should collaborate with. So understanding all these critical things will set us on the right pedestal for excellence. Dr. Toby, do I still have more time? I want to ascertain that.
Yes, sir. You have just about 5 more minutes to wrap up, sir.
5 more minutes. Absolutely. By 6:55, I am done. The next critical point I want to say is, what should you do at the process of evolving? And these are things that our people don't know. And that's why many people are running the races while the others are running, because they have not found time to know who they are. The first thing there is you need to know who you are. Knowing yourself, your self-identity, gives you a clear reflection that even when success has not surfaced, success will come because you know where you are going. Not knowing where you are going will make every other place look like your destination. Not knowing where you are going will make every other destination look like your destination. Why? Not knowing who you are will not know where you are going to. Because when other people tell you, okay, we have gotten there, you feel you have gotten there because you are not on a journey of evolving. The journey of evolving will make you critically understand that you must understand yourself. And that's why John Martin, like I rightly said earlier, the first process is there are 2 important days in the life of a man. The first day is the day a man knows why, the day he was born, and the second day is the day you know why. Why are you here? If you know why, you'll be able to achieve more. The next thing is you must be able to build capacity. You cannot function beyond the capacity that you have built. Many of us are so interested in successes. We are so interested in luxury life, living a life of vision, living, traveling the world, living a luxurious life. Absolutely, it is good. I mean, I covet such life. But the interesting thing is, are you interested to put the work? You must build capacity. Success is hard work. Success is sweet. The secret is sweat. It's sweat. That's 2. 3, don't advertise beyond the capacity that you have built. Yeah, and I think this is one of the areas we need to lay more emphasis on. No one is interested to celebrate a mediocre. Mediocrity should not be part of your DNA, because at creation, God said you are wonderfully and fearfully made. You know, at that point when God was in heaven, he called the angels. Let's create man in our own image. If you look at the architectural setting of the world, if you look at the monuments, if you look at the artifacts, if you look at creation, the sea, the mountains, every of the things that God created, it will give you a clear understanding that God is not a mediocre. It took him great level of excellence to operate at that level. If he had created you in his own image, how much more are you trying to function in the capacity at which you know you can go? So capacity building is at the forefront of leadership and value delivery. So if you have not built capacity, you should not be interested in succeeding, because capacity is what brings about problem solving. Problem solving is what puts you at the helm of affairs of people. And before people can trust you, you must be solving their problems or preparing solutions to some of their challenges. So you must build capacity. The next one is, don't advertise beyond the capacity you have built. I am a lover of excellence. I have been an excellent person part time. I know areas in which I've built capacity, and I know areas in which I need to improve. Don't for any reason deceive people. The capacity that you have not built, don't tell people you have built a life. There's a clear distinction between capacity building and branding. With my over 6 to 7 years experience in public relations, I understand the integrity of branding. We are not saying you should not brand, but don't brand beyond the level of capacity that you have built. That would be regarded as lying and deceiving people. Deceit at its peak. Don't lie to people. Don't deceive them. Don't advertise beyond the capacity that you have built. And these are very salient things we need to share with ourselves. Many of ourselves, we lie part time. We say a lot of things that we have not done, things that, these things will not project us on the right pedestal for the kind of excellence that we want. Thank you, Dr. Toby, for putting up this kind of webinar, to change people's lives, of our people to understand critical things they need to do to move from level A to level B. You convert those great people who are at the top. But are you ready to go through the pain? are questions we need to ask because of our time. Lastly, you must be contented. I'm not saying you must be complacent. You must be contented with whatsoever you have. And that is the very first step that can help you evolve more. As I round up, let me make you understand that success is not a destination. It is a journey. Because the success of yesterday will only make you a successful person in the past. Like I was, don't live yourself or your life more in the past. Live yourself more in the present. Because people don't care about the successes that you have recorded in the past, but places more premium on your present success. So if you are the type who is fond of saying, I used to, then you are not fit for the process of evolving, because success is not a destination. It is a journey. It's a lifelong journey. Because when you become successful in one thing, there are still more grounds you can cover. And that's why we say success requires more effort. When you achieve more, there are more you can achieve. When you achieve that more, there are still more things that you can achieve. I hope with these 3 points of mine, Dr. Toby, I have been able to convince our people that the only stage, the only process needed for us to move, to cut a paradigm and a mental shift in our endeavor as a people, is for us to see the process of evolving as a critical, salient, and of course, Herculean task that is ahead of us. And we must be ready to put in all that is required for us to become successful. In every of your dealing, great people, always understand that impossibility is there. Thank you so much, and I hope this helps. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Icon. We really appreciate you. And I'm sure we all took notes. So just to have a mental picture of what we went through the process of evolving as a journey and not a destination. It's a journey. It's a journey that requires processes. And these processes, they will not just come to you automatically. You have to be intentional about taking those steps. And running other people's race will only get you tired. It will only get you fagged out. It will only get you frustrated. But running your own race, first by understanding who you are, understanding that God is a God of excellence, God is a God of perfection, God is a God that that wraps everything in creation into it was beautiful, it was wonderful, it was lovely to behold. So why become mediocre? Why become someone that just believes in the success and not ready to put in the work? Thank you so much for this session. We really appreciate you, and we hope that if we call you some other time, you will answer. So I'll be talking about his book Evolve. His book Evolve is a book I got in the year 2021, and the book is titled Evolve, with the subtitle The Process of Becoming. You can reach out to him on his Facebook page, that's Icon Stephen Adedigba, and you can also reach out to him on Twitter and also on Instagram. So please, we would like you to drop your Instagram handle, Facebook handle, where your social media handle, so people can get to connect with you and also connect with the message of evolving. So that's it, everyone. I hope everyone had a wonderful session, and I hope you've been able to harness this thing called evolving as a facet and as the baseline and foundation for mental excellence. You can't be excellent if you don't understand that excellence is a process. Success is sweet, and I'm sure that your life, that success you want, you'll be able to generate it. And it will not just be, oh, I used to do this. It will be, I am a person of success and excellence. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone that has joined on to this session, and we can call it a close. So do have a wonderful weekend. Ciao.